we, yes, item 1, AB 813 by Gonzalez, chair voting aye, vice chair voting no. Please call the absent members.
Leno?
Aye.
Leno, aye.
Okay. That bill passes. AB 898 by Gonzalez. The motion do pass to appropriations. Chair voting aye, vice chair voting aye.
Leno?
Aye.
Leno, aye.
That bill passes 7-0. Consent calendar, I believe,
Leno?
Aye.
Leno, aye.
okay, the consent calendar passes. AB 1597, item 4, chair voting aye, vice chair voting aye.
Leno?
Aye.
Leno, aye.
Well, okay, so 6-1, that measure passes, and we do have an author here, so we'll go back to this at the end. Item 150, bill number 156. Senator Leon, would you like to begin? I understand Assemblymember McCarty is on his way.
My understanding, Madam Chair, as well as Vice Chair, as members, thank you very much for the opportunity to present AB 156 with Assemblymember McCarthy, who you just mentioned will be on his way. Assembly Bill 156 offers a comprehensive approach to the sale of ammunition to ensure that criminals and other dangerous individuals cannot purchase ammunition. As many of you know, I've been working on this issue for a decade. I first introduced AB 362 back in 2007 to require handgun ammunition purchasers to pass a background check. That measure failed, as did others. I tried in subsequent years until AB 962, my measure, the Anti-Gang Neighborhood Protection Act, which was signed by then Republican Governor Schwarzenegger back in 2009. AB 962 was the first broad effort to regulate ammunition sales by requiring handgun ammunition vendors to check purchasers' identification, obtain thumbprints, and collect records of sale. Law enforcement would be able to use these records to cross-check criminal databases to see if prohibited people purchase ammunition. Unfortunately, AB 962 was challenged in a court of law, and its implementation was obstructed by an injunction because the measure referenced a 30-year definition of handgun ammunition that, according to the court, lacked specificity. Okay, come on. In fact, Madam Chair, if you don't mind, I'd like to take a pause on my comments and allow, with permission of the chair, to allow Mr. McCarty to begin the statement of his bill.
Yeah, that will be fine.
Thank
Sorry, we, in the interest of time, we started before you get there.
No, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to present on this issue. And first of all, thank the Pro Tem for his leadership on these ammunition issues for nearly a decade. And thank you for allowing me to be part of this proposal. We know that there are many laws on the books related to gun sales, firearms, but virtually no laws that really effectively regulate ammunition. Whether you're a gun control advocate or a staunch supporter of the Second Amendment, we can all agree that keeping ammunition out of the hands of those who do harm is an important caveat. Almost 10 years of local laws, statewide efforts, and court battles, this issue of a common sense solution has not come to fruition. I worked on this issue firsthand 10 years ago. Excuse me. I ran up the stairs really fast, so I'm out of breath.
Have some water.
To the wrong foot. Okay, here we go. About 10 years ago, I had the chance to author an ordinance in the city of Sacramento related to ammunition sales. We have our police officials behind us here can talk about the impacts. And essentially, we found that too many prohibited people and people with criminal records were purchasing ammunition. What we really found out was we, made about 250 felony arrests, confiscated over 200 firearms, confiscated 10,000 rounds of ammunition. But we found out that this issue only works if we're all in it together. Having a few cities isolated, having their own proposal, leaves the issue not working. And so after all this, we find ourselves with a good solution before us today. I think that President Pro Tem has looked at ballot measures, the initiatives before us, potentially on the ballot, issues before us we pass and come up with, frankly, an issue that doesn't reinvent the wheel, but looks at existing policies to check who's purchasing firearms and who we know has passed the test to make sure that they're not a dangerous individual and allow us to have a common sense statewide solution. We think, common sense exemptions in here dealing with hunters, hunting clubs, law enforcement, allowing us to bring a real proposal to fruition. I know some people have questioned whether or not we have a bill that's been amended in the Senate that goes forward on a fast-track basis, or the President Pro Tem's proposal, or a ballot measure. My view is very simple. I want any solution that has a statewide policy to regulate ammunition sales to keep our communities safer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I want to thank very much Assemblymember McCarthy also, too, for his incredible leadership here locally in the city of Sacramento when he was the council member here representing his constituents. Like I said, AB 962 is a measure that we know there's an injunction. It is before surely the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court sooner rather than later will be making an ultimate determination. Nonetheless, today, as was underscored by Assemblymember McCarthy, the reality is the following. Any individual, any criminal, any gang member, any cartel member, you don't need a straw purchaser or third party. You yourself can walk into any Walmart, Big Five, mom and pop tackle bait store and buy all the ammunition that you want. No questions asked. You can walk out of Corcoran Prison, Vacaville, San Quentin, or any other county jail. And you walk into any gun store and load up the back of your trunk or a U-Haul truck and drive away, no questions asked. There is no way to track who's buying and who's selling ammunition. And this blind eye approach is putting ammunition in the hands of killers. Now, I commend Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom for recognizing the need to address this problem and including ammunition background checks in his initiative. However, since he divides initiative, which mirrors about 95% of Senate Bill 53, closely, we've come up with a better approach that is easier to implement and less burdensome on firearms owners. Instead of requiring ammunition purchasers apply for permit with renewal requirements and considerable background check fees, Assembly Bill 156 takes practical, cost-effective approach by using existing firearm registration records to screen criminals from law-abiding citizens at the point of sale. Any registered gun owner will be able to buy ammunition without any additional steps. This approach is much more convenient for both customers and less expensive for the Department of Justice to implement. However, it still means the goals of the initiative, as well as Senate Bill 53, to license ammunition vendors, screen for prohibited people, and make sales record available to law enforcement. I want to thank Mr. McCarthy again for his commitment to this issue. As we all know, and as he just mentioned a few moments ago, he authored the local Sacramento ammunition sales ordinance back in 2007 that led to the capture of hundreds of criminals actively buying ammunition in the city. These are local ordinances that were spearheaded by him, and like he mentioned, we can't have a hodgepodge. We have to have a comprehensive approach statewide. And also, to just one last highlight that he emphasized, whether it's the Assembly, whether it's the Senate, whatever the process is, people are dying in our neighborhoods, in our communities. And we have to do something about this sooner rather than later. I want to thank you for your leadership, Mr. McCarthy, Madam Chair, as well as colleagues. I respectfully ask for I vote of my colleagues measure AB 156. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Speakers in support of the bill.
Amanda Wilcox, on behalf of the 27 chapters of the Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence, the 27 California chapters. I do feel a little bit rattled after hearing the testimony from the victims earlier this morning. Obviously, I'm here every week. I can't tell my story every week. I can't do that. I don't think I can put you through that. But as you know, many of our chapter members have lost a loved one to gunfire, including myself. I'm also here on this bill on behalf of the Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence. They are in strong support. In fact, for our coalition of gun violence prevention groups in California, our long-term coalition, regulating ammo sales has been a long-term priority. This is the biggest gap in California firearm law. We have no idea who is selling ammunition, maybe from a U-Haul, as you just said, and we have no idea who is buying ammunition. The argument, I suppose, could be made, well, people pass a background check for getting a firearm. That's good enough. But where this bill is so significant is for people who have illegal guns. It's a way to get a handle on that problem. We are, as was mentioned, there's an initiative proposing background checks from ammunition. There's been many ways to skin the cat on this. You know, that's our end goal. We want a background check. I think the beauty of this measure is how it uses existing databases to accomplish that. These are databases that the legislature, California, has invested considerable money into. Some of you here have been part of that in terms of developing and improving our automated firearm system database, the record of who owns guns in California, and of course the armed prohibited person system database, and I know Senator Leno has been very involved in that program and making it work right. We have invested a lot into these databases and programs. We should be using them to the full extent possible. This minimally impacts a gun owner because at the time of sale, they swipe their driver's license and these two databases are checked. If they are a gun owner, have a gun that's in AFS, and they have not fallen into apps, which shows that they are prohibited, then they're good to go. So it's very streamlined using the databases that we have in California. As was indicated, the City of Sacramento passed a measure requiring information about ammo buyers to be transmitted to the Sacramento Police Department. And what they found, as did a RAND study in Los Angeles, is that many criminals who are prohibited that have guns that we don't know about are purchasing ammunition. This is a great investigative tool to find who has illegal guns. So we are very in strong support. This is the huge gap in our law, and we urge you to pass this measure. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there others in support of the bill? Speakers?
Madam Chairman, members, David Jones, on behalf of the City of Sacramento, thank the author and the pro tem for his leadership on this issue. I know there's a request for a deputy chief to come, and he may be showing up anytime soon, but we think that the success of Sacramento in having our ordinance by Mr. McCarty speaks for itself, and would echo the comments on the value of this. So we'd urge an aye vote, and if the chief comes, I'd hope you to accommodate his schedule. Thank you.
We'll let him do a me too. Yes, but thank you. Speakers in opposition to the bill?
Madam Chairman, members of the committee, Craig DeLuz with the Firearms Policy Coalition. I'll reiterate our objection based on the process, but I wanted to make sure and I also ask that our comments from our previous testimony on SB 1235 also being included, largely because the arguments are the same. But in particular because Assemblyman McCarty is my assemblyman and is on the city council when this was instituted. I think it's important to note that one of the whole points of this is to be able, it talked about it was used as an investigative tool. Well, one of the things that they're going to do is law enforcement is going to use this to profile. And I think that Assemblyman McCarty, when he was on the city council, had the opportunity to have within 1 year or 6 months of the process being in place, had a young man come to him, Latino, who basically had a chance to share with the Sacramento City Council the fact that one day he came home, he had gone and purchased ammunition within the city of Sacramento. He filled out the form, didn't think anything about it, and later that week, he comes home with a card on his door, calls the police, say, I need to speak with you about a homicide. He speaks to the individual, and the individual, basically he's thinking, well, you know, something's going on with my family. Is everything okay? And it turns out that he fit the description of someone who there was a homicide, and the individual used ammunition the same caliber that he had purchased. And so they wanted his gun in order for him to be ruled out. Now, my concern is this, and one of our biggest concerns is this, yes, this is going to be used to profile. And it's already been demonstrated in the very same places where this law is in place, that a disproportionate number of African Americans and Latinos are pulled over and searched and whatnot by police. My big concern is that in many cases we're going to find that people are going to be harassed by police because they quote unquote fit the description and they purchased ammunition. That is a major issue with this particular measure. I'm sure that my other colleagues will bring up some other more additionally salient objections, but I want it to be very, very clear. This is about profiling lawful gun owners, and they are the ones who are going to bear the brunt of this policy. We oppose this measure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, Member Sampret is representing gun owners of California. There is no way in the world or on any universe that this bill, if passed, will not increase the cost of ammunition to the purchasers. The people that will be most affected by this will be those of the lower incomes who live in high crime areas, who will have to comply with this law, and the cost of the ammunition they use to protect themselves will be more expensive. So we are considering a bill here, or you are considering a bill that will affect all law-abiding gun owners. And the criminal element will not be will be slightly inconvenienced because, as was pointed out, that nothing prevents them from driving to Arizona or Nevada or Oregon with their car, filling it full of ammunition, and coming back and still using it for criminal purposes. They will be breaking the law if they do that, but they are already criminals. So the only people that are really inconvenienced and, in fact, prevented or made it more difficult for them to exercise their right to protect themselves in their own homes are the law-abiding citizens, in particular those in lower income areas. So for this and many of other reasons, we are in strong opposition to this bill.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, Kathy Lynch, representing the National Shooting Sports Foundation, the firearms industry, and ammunition manufacturers. California Sportsmen's Lobby, Outdoor Sportsmen's Coalition, Safari Club International, in strong opposition to this bill. It was mentioned that, we're paying for the database. Well, in fact, firearms owners are the ones paying for the database. And as we have pointed out, even with long gun registration in the country of Canada, where they've had the most experience with it, there were so many breaches of the database, so many wrong information put in that they actually had to toss out the system due to all the legal costs that they incurred. And I think we've seen very recently in the budget conversations here that the Department of Justice has their hands full just dealing with the armed prohibited persons category. And here we are going after law-abiding citizens. And as Mr. Paredes points out, driving up the cost of ammunition for people that want to use it for protection or for sporting purposes. So we oppose this bill. Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, for the record, Dan Reed with National Rifle Association. This imposes drastic and unjustified restrictions on law-abiding citizens while doing nothing to reduce violent crime. This is a concept that's been tried and failed, as was mentioned before, eventually disbanded because it no longer it served no substantial law enforcement purpose. As far as the database of keeping track of a consumable, essentially you're having a database of nothings. Ammunition is not something that's illegal to possess or to consume. And so in some instances, someone might go and purchase their ammunition and it might never even make it into the database before it's already been consumed and the cases have been thrown away in the trash can or recycled, et cetera. This is going to increase costs on gun owners, and with that, we're in strong opposition. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello again, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Mark Henley with California Waterfowl Association. We are in opposition to this bill, primarily because it creates a further disincentive for members of the public to hunt, to participate in the shooting sports because of the costs and the red tape involved. So we urge your opposition. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, members, Roy Griffith, California Rifle and Pistol Association. For all the reasons already stated, we strongly oppose.
Madam Chair and members, Corey Salzillo here on behalf of the California State Sheriff's Association in opposition.
Thank you. Are there others in opposition? Seeing and hearing none, are there questions or comments from committee members, or is there a motion on the bill? The bill has been moved by Senator Leno. Any questions or comments? Seeing and hearing none, would you like to close, Assembly Member?
Thank you. I respectfully ask for your aye vote. I think there's been a lot of work put into this measure, looking at the court decision, the prior bills, and I think before us is something that could be used in the very near future and bring about a common sense solution to make sure people buying ammo are not people that shouldn't have firearms nor ammo in the first place. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, as well as colleagues. Again, underscoring and emphasizing the major gap that exists. This doesn't violate the Second Amendment of the Constitution, doesn't prohibit anyone from purchasing firearms for lawful use, whether it's sport, whether it's gaming. But there's a major gap because ammunition is the fuel. It's the oxygen that feeds the violence. Right now, if you purchase Sudafed, you have to show your identification. If you purchase tobacco, you have to show your identification. If you purchase beer or alcohol, you have to use identification. If you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or any hardware store and you purchase spray paint, which by the way is locked up, you have to show identification. This is a product that has the potential to maim or kill another human being, as we know it clearly in our districts and our communities throughout the great state of California. It's a very modest, we've worked hard to make it as less intrusive to law-abiding citizens. Again, I just want to underscore, and I want to thank the leadership of Assemblymember McCarthy, because in many ways, what he created in Sacramento is in fact the prototype, and not just for the state, but for the entire nation. With that, I, along with my colleague in his measure, AB 156, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Please read the roll.
Motion is due pass to appropriations. Hancock?
Aye.
Hancock, aye. Anderson? No. Anderson, no. Glazer?
Aye.
Glazer, aye. Leno?
Aye.
Leno, aye. Lou? Lou, aye. Monning?
Aye.
Monning, aye. Stone? No. Stone, no. Bill's out.
Okay, that bill has passed. I have a couple more
I don't,
bills that were on call for the absent members. Item 9, AB 2295 by Baker. Chair voting aye, Vice Chair voting aye.
motion is due pass to the floor. Leno? Leno, aye. Lou? Lou, aye. Stone? Stone, aye.
7-0, that bill is out. Item 11, AB 857 by Cooper. Chair voting aye.
Motion is due pass to appropriations. Anderson? No. Anderson, no. Lou? Lou, aye.
Okay. 5-2, that bill is out. Item 12, AB 1135 by Levine, due pass to appropriations.
Lou? Aye. Lou, aye.
Okay, 5-2, that bill is out. That takes care of the work before the committee today, and the committee meeting is adjourned.